Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, February 27th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market's still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, SOUN. Been tracking this one very closely and have been watching that red line right there as that's been the main area of resistance. And all I can say is, wow, what a breakout. Finally came up here. Oh, and so that's where it's come from. You can just see, because I want to zoom back in, but that's where it's basically coming from. But as I zoom in here, you can see right there, came up, broke that resistance, and then essentially almost went straight up the entire day long. So very, very impressive day. Very nice way to start off the week. So let's get some new levels mapped out. First key update is just based on a foundational rule in chart, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this level up, and whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that's always a good sign. But one of the newest areas of support, what I would call the ideal level right there at the $5 mark. Ideal meaning if you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And yeah, ideally, if it could stay above $5, that would be fantastic. But from the grand scheme of it all, it's all about the purple line down here as the main area of support, that being the 50-period simple moving average, keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher, which is basically like an overall trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So moral of the story, from the grand scheme of things, as long as the price stays above that purple line, then the overall trend is plenty in the bull's favor. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy or complicated here. Literally just a question of, okay, well, where did the party finally stop today? And the party stopped right up there at $5.95. So for that reason and that reason alone, that is why $5.95 will be that main battleground. But all in all, very, very impressive breakout today. The week is young. Let's see if it can build upon this momentum over the next couple days. Next one, ticker symbol OCEA, and very nice pattern here has formed. So let's get this pattern here drawn into play. And let me be very clear. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that me drawing this pattern is a great skill or some sort of special discovery on my part. I assure you, a lot of people have drawn something very, very similar to this. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movement. So let me make this all one color, hopefully make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move right here. For you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So again, no guarantees, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you want to call it, but it's more than valid to think that if the price comes up here and breaks through that level, that break in and of itself could very well create additional buying pressure. So if you like stocks down by below $5, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, MARA, and yeah, quite the impressive movement today. You can see that there had been this general area of resistance down around here, but price broke through it right there and then just had a very, very powerful day. So that's the general context of things. In terms of current levels of support, let's get that mapped out. And we're going to have another one of these situations where this would be what I'd call that ideal level, meaning, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And yeah, that would be if the price can stay up there above 27.40. But from the grand scheme of things, as we just talked about, keep an eye on that purple line, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher and serves as basically a trend line for you, as long as the price is above that area, then the overall movement right now is fully in the bull's favor, assuming, of course, again, you care about more of a bigger picture standpoint. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, nothing too fancy. Actually, now I'm curious. As I look here, did it actually get rid? Yeah, okay. So right there, you can see that the high from back here was right around 29.75, and then that's essentially right where the high from today got hit. So that's, been resistance number one right there, and then resistance number two. So in the very short term, we'll call it 29.75, going to be that first key battleground. But then if the price can push up through there, next key level, it's just back to that question of, okay, where did the party stop previously? And the party stopped previously back there around the $30.50 mark. So keep an eye on that. Or if you just want to simplify it, you could just call this a resistance zone. So that'll be the big resistance zone that the bulls will have to fight through if this chart's going to gain even more momentum on the week. But the week is young, like I said, still 4 days left just this week alone. So we'll see if the bulls can build upon the momentum and get up through that zone of resistance. Next one, ticker symbol AKLI. And for you penny stock players out there, nice little pattern here. in one of these situations where you got to think a lot of people have drawn something. I don't want to say that exact line, but I don't think it's a stretch on my part to think that, yeah, a lot of people have probably kind of ignored that upper shadow and just use that because you get a little bit more friendly trend line right there. So you got to think a lot of people are watching that. And then just from the support standpoint, again, nothing fancy here. The price basically went sideways right down there at that 45-cent mark. So got to think a lot of people will probably notice that as a support. And then when we convert this into a pattern, so we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move right here, have the golf hole down here, another nice bull pennant pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC, and overall was looking good on the day. Several times the price had gotten up above this main area of resistance that I talked about previously around the 455 mark, including about mid-afternoon, really started to get going. But then it was like somebody just slammed the brakes on the momentum, and now it's looking very, very rough. Has spent the latter part of the day, I mean, as you can see right here, 4 red candles right in a row. So more of the story here, 455 holds strong as resistance. Yeah, I'd agree it got weakened up today, but because the price is still down below it, still got to be considered an area of resistance. And now the big question mark moving forward is all about the pink line right there, that 200 period moving average. You can see right there, beautiful job of acting as support. So if the price does come back down there, does history repeat itself like it did over here? Or is the price going to, find even more bearish pressure and push down through? And if that situation occurs and it pushes down through, next key area of support would be down there at the 427 mark, which is a pretty important level from that angle thing. So yes, was looking good mid-afternoon, and now today looking pretty rough. But to be fair, it's still above the 200 period moving average. It's still above the 427 mark. So when I say it's looking rough, I just mean relatively to how it was when it was actually breaking out. But we'll see how it plays out on Tuesday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here later on in the week. If you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the page you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. Next one here, HOLO. This thing was a monster. It got absolutely beat down. And now today, to give credit where credit's due from where it was here on Friday, nice movement up. That does lead to the more than valid question. Yeah, nice move, but is there any sort of genuine power behind it? And I have no idea. But by using a chart, we can make answering that question pretty straightforward. In my opinion, the very important level right down there around 880. Why is this area so important? Let me change that to support. Because, and I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down to 880, and then crack down below it, what would you have at that point? You would essentially have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make a nice move and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But also, to be fair, nothing can go straight up. So maybe the price comes down here, behaves like that, and then starts to work its way back upwards. Now, all of a sudden, what do you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows right there if you envision each of those as stair steps. Well, now you have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction, and that's the name of the game. That's what a truly strong move is going to do. It's going to make progress, and in this situation, quote-unquote progress being defined as $8.80. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, main battleground to watch, definitely going to be right up there at the $14 mark. You can see right there is where the price rejected it, and that's where it had some issues today. But yeah, overall, good movement today. Is it the start of a much bigger move? Is there genuine strength? Let's see if it can make progress. Next one, CLSK, and this thing has been very, very impressive mover. Just to add some context to it, I've been tracking this one here for the past few weeks, and with today pushing to new highs, definitely some updates here need to be made. And really just I wouldn't call it an obvious pattern. Maybe you would disagree with it. But in my opinion, I think we can all agree that basically right up there at $21 is where the momentum has disappeared several times today. So I would make that the main area of resistance. And then as far as supports are concerned, in the very near term, you have this nice little uptrend line right there. And then from the pattern standpoint, resistance, support, huge explosion today, golf hole down here. So I'd call that another little bull pennant pattern. But again, I would not call that a super obvious one, and maybe you would disagree with how I kind of constructed that, which I can understand. But I don't think I'm crazy either for constructing it the way that I did. But from an overarching standpoint, just continue to watch that purple line because, yes, sure, ideally it stays above that support there. But if it doesn't, then overall, as long as the price stays above that purple line, as the line moves higher and higher, then the overall chart perfectly in the bull's favor. Next one, TSLA Tesla. And first update needs to be done. And this was actually a significant area because this red line here, as I talked about in past videos, has been very annoying, very stubborn, but the price did get above it right there. So basic technical analysis states when those levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And then you could throw this right into a textbook. I mean, beautiful, beautiful example of that former area of resistance now acting as support. So again, ideally speaking, if the price can stay above 198.70, that's going to make the chart look the strongest. But from an overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line. And now you want to see the price begin to stay above that purple line as the line itself moves higher and higher. As far as next key battlegrounds, main level to watch moving forward, in my opinion now, going to be right up there at the 201.50 mark. Going back through the history of things, you can see that right there, rejected the price, and then twice there and there, rejected the price. So 201.50, not saying it can't be broken, just saying that according to the story that's being told to us, apparently there's a lot of sellers up there, so the bulls will have to bring their A game if they are going to push through it. Next one, FSR, and a nice mover today, and I'm just going to draw this a little bit quickly. Because yes, right now, and I should note, it depends on your perspective in terms of this is a good or bad looking chart. Because yeah, there's no doubt about it. There has been this downwards channel that has formed basically all day long. So if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you were buying up around here and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks really bad. But if you do care about the bigger picture, then sure, you are going to acknowledge, well, yeah, sure, Clay, that's fair. Essentially all day long, it formed this downward channel. But because I care about the bigger picture, what was happening before this downward channel? And you would say, well, there's this huge explosion up like there. And what we actually have today now is a bull flag pattern. So do you care about the bull flag? Do you not? Like I said, the day traders that were buying up there, they don't care because they were looking to buy and sell within a few minutes, and now the price is all the way down here. But if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, you got yourself a bull flag pattern. Or if you just like penny stocks and bull flags, you have something to keep an eye on for Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to go up, this one will also go up. And this is going to be very quickly because the levels I talked about previously still 100% pertain, but this is a very popular ETF. So I'd like to keep it updated here. But for those of you that watch the past videos, you know that I talked about right around $60.60 as a resistance. You can see the price didn't even do battle with it. On the downside, 59.40, key area of support, and you can see that a couple times this morning, price did battle with it and held strong. But all things considered, now sure, today, things happened. I mean, the price was going up and down, but overall, nothing really happened today. And again, I just mean nothing happened relative to that sideways channel pattern. So you got to think, though, that there's going to be that many more eyeballs now on each of these levels. So that's the big question mark moving forward is who's ultimately going to win out of the sideways action. Do the bulls get the win to the upside? Do the bears get the win to the downside? We'll see how the next couple of days play out. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free live webinar later this week, Thursday, February 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, even if it's just say hi, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow. But those things help out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So go get signed up for that free webinar. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.